Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here today. This administration has been in charge of the federal COVID response for a year. I have to say I don't think it's been a job well done. Our federal government not only sets the tone and the guidance for how millions of Americans should be handling COVID, we set the standard for the world. Our information has to be correct. I continue to hear that we need to follow the science, and I agree. But we have to yet hear the clarity from this administration. We hear conflicting guidance across the board. In order to be effective, guidance has to be understood and implemented by the average American. But most Americans can't make heads or tails of anything coming out of this administration. So we are all of us, are failing this test. One thing I do know is that when we finally, toward the end of this thing, Congress is going to have an investigation. We all know that. We've heard that the FDA and President Biden say 55 years will be needed to share data related to a lot of those decisions. But we will have to investigate. This group will have to investigate and have the information before 2076. Heck, most of us won't be here in 2076. This investigation will look into who had authority to make decisions. I know there are more people making decisions behind the scenes. So what I'd like to know is, I'm just concerned how badly the response has been. It's handled, President Biden's handled this in his first year. We've heard all the pluses and minuses. This administration took office with 3 successful vaccines and numerous effective therapeutics and basically drove the response into a ditch. At times, it doesn't seem like anyone's in charge. You started the year by dismantling Operation Warp Speed, canceling contracts for monoclonal antibodies, underinvesting in testing, and we've spent billions in that, first with Delta, now Omicron. People can't find a test. I'm getting texts as we speak, sitting here, where do I get a test? We spent billions on this. If we can't find a test and test positive, they can't get treatment. Monoclonal antibodies are rationed. Antiviral pills are months away. So I just got a simple question. Of all of you up there, and whoever wants to answer this, if you have a problem and your coordinates, who do you go to? Who is the head coach of this virus that you have to go to, whether it's in the administration, whether it's one of you? Dr. Fauci, who do we go to?
The person who's in charge of that is Jeff Zients.
In the White House?
At the White House. And we meet very, very regularly, the entire medical team as well as others, going over all of the data, going over what the strategies are, going over what the issues are, what the problems are, what we've done right, what we've done wrong. We examine it literally continually, sir.
Has he done a good job?
I think given the circumstances that we're in right now, I believe he's done a very good job. I really do. This is an extraordinary virus, the likes of which we have not seen even close to in well over 100 years. It is a very wily virus. It has fooled everybody all the time, from the time it first came in to Delta to now Omicron. Very unpredictable, and we're doing the best we possibly can.
Yeah. Dr. Walensky, it's been reported by some virologists and scientists that this year around 170 people have died from taking the regular flu vaccine. The Vaccine Advisory Adverse Reporting System reported that the number of people dying after or following the COVID vaccine is actually in the thousands. Now, this is what I'm hearing. I'll give you a chance to refute that or confirm it here. Is this true? Are we having that many people die after taking one of these vaccines?
Senator Tuberville, thank you for that question. The Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System is a mandatory system of any adverse event that happens after being vaccinated. So if you get hit by a car, tragically, after getting vaccinated, that gets reported in the Vaccine Adverse Reporting System, the VAERS system. So the vaccines are incredibly safe. They protect us against Omicron. They protect us against Delta. They protect us against COVID. They don't protect us against every other form of mortality out there.
Do we keep numbers of people that died following taking a COVID test from taking this vaccine? Do we have any idea? I'm just asking.
I'm sorry, those who have died after taking a COVID test?
Died following taking the vaccine. Is there any number count? Do we keep records on that died of just from?
Absolutely, yes. I couldn't give you the absolute number off the top of my head, but our staff could absolutely get back in touch with you. We collect those data.
You know, Dr. Fauci? You have any clue on that?
About how many died after?
100?
I don't know the number, but I think it's really important for people.
You can turn on your
Microphone.
I'm sorry. I don't have a number, but I think part of the confusion is that when you do a reporting, if you get vaccinated and you walk out and get hit by a car, that is considered a death. I mean, that's the thing that gets confusing, that everything that happens after the vaccination, even if you die of something completely obviously unrelated, it's considered a death. So if I had metastatic cancer, got vaccinated, and died 2 weeks later, that's a death that gets counted.
I understand that. Yeah.
And every one of those is adjudicated.
Yeah, one quick question before we get through here. I'm in rural Alabama, but I get one of these home tests, and I test positive. I have asymptomatic. What do I do? People call up, what do I do? I don't have a doctor around. What do I do?
Thank you. So you're asymptomatic?
Pardon?
You're asymptomatic, no symptoms, feel well.
Yeah.
You stay home for 5 days, and the next 5 days, if you continue to be asymptomatic, you can go out, wear a mask, don't go traveling, don't go to gyms, don't go
But I get real
restaurants.
sick, then what do I do?
Then, well, first you go and call your physician. And in fact, I'd say you call your physician regardless. But call your physician, call your provider. If you're continuing to have symptoms, then you stay home until your symptoms resolve.
No therapeutics.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I would say call your physician and see if you're eligible for therapeutics.
A lot of these people don't have physicians.
And
They've got a drugstore.
Senator, we do
Thank you.
need to move on.
Thank you.
Senator Rosen.